thought I'd summarise a few things that I haven't yet really talked about this year. Firstly, we're going to talk about Type-00, the plans with the F-Type going into 2025, and then we'll summarise with a level out of what this year's been about. I did forget my suction mount, so I won't be going for a drive. I've come to Essex because that's where my missus is from, and we're here for a few days, and I forgot my suction mount, so I can't actually film anything in the car, so apologies about that. But it works out that some of my best videos this year were me just stood in a garden in Cornwall talking about the fact that I didn't have this car for 5 months. Yeah, actually this year I've only had the car for 7 months. 5 months of the time it was at Oxford Marshall Jaguar dealership. Right, let's talk about Type-00 because I haven't really addressed it since it came out. Obviously I talked quite extensively on the release of that video. My personal opinion on that is that Jaguar never meant it to be as marketable as it was, and the whole world talking about it. They probably rejected it slightly, but it was a success in some form of capacity. Type-00, the car itself, I actually quite like it, but mainly because it looks like the Rolls-Royce Wraith, which I actually really like. I personally just think it's a Rolls-Royce Wraith stretched a little bit, but it's going to be a Rolls-Royce Wraith, basically, in my opinion. And I would rather have a Rolls-Royce Wraith, because the Rolls-Royce Wraith is a petrol car. It's also got Rolls-Royce heritage, and it's sub 100k. Well, the new Jaguar is going to be electric and more than 100k. So I'm not really sure that the Type-00 is going to do that well. I don't know how well the Spectre's done, which is the Rolls-Royce equivalent, but yeah, I would rather just a Rolls-Royce Wraith than the Type-00. That's about all my thoughts on it. It comes in blue and it comes in pink. I don't think anyone will be speccing them in those colours. I imagine they'll just go for the normal black, silver, grey, whatever it is. I don't really care. A lot of people are like, is it going to affect the brand? I don't think personally the Jaguar F-Type brand is going to be affected, because fundamentally at one point they made an E-Type and then they changed their whole direction and released something different, and the whole world probably went exactly how we've done. What the hell, what are they doing? They're taking this away. So yeah, I'm pretty confident the F-Type will be fine in terms of residuals, but that leads me on to next year. Obviously this year I've gone back and forth multiple times on what I'm doing with the car, but fundamentally I need to make a decision by early next year, because in March my PCP finishes. So if I'm buying the car, I need to go ahead and buy it. If I'm not, and I plan to swap it, then I either need to sell it or do something else. And my biggest issue with selling this car is that when I was buying the F-Type, it didn't really matter how it drove. Like I couldn't care less. I was just like, I want this car. But I'm not having that same experience when I'm looking at other cars. I'm like, I want to test drive it, I want to experience it, I kind of want to see if I like it. And that's really difficult to do on a test drive, because usually there's a bloke or woman sat next to you. You just can't, I gotta say, you can't bond with the car in the same way that if you just have the car on your own for half an hour, whatever it might be, to get used to this car. When I test drove the F-Type originally, I want to say it was near or around COVID, I guess. Must have been COVID, because there must have been distance, I can't quite remember, but the dealer that I went to was in Guildford. It was the best customer service I ever received, probably from a Jaguar dealership. The guy who sold me this car was actually really nice as well. That's probably a bit of an insult to him, but they gave me the car for like 2 hours, filled it up, sent me away for 2 hours. I came back and they're like, do you like it? And I was like, I'm still not 100% if I fit, because the seats were the bigger seats. It was a 2014 shape, so for someone of my height, that wasn't ideal. And basically, yeah, they said, go out again, see if you like it. In the end, I didn't buy it, but I was able to build a relationship with the car, take it on a normal kind of a drive through a tunnel. I revved it in front of people who got excited, and that made me excited, and therefore I knew it was going to be the F-Type. I just knew that this was the car I wanted to buy. Fast forward to today, that's really difficult to do, because a lot of times cars are on sale or return, so it's not owned by the dealer, so you can't go drive it. And they're kind of expecting you just to like, yes, it's a Porsche, or yes, it's this. You should just want, I'm not sold yet. So I've contacted a few people to see if I can drive their cars, promote it a little bit on YouTube. So if you're interested in buying these cars, then I'm going to do a video on it. But also at the same time, it can help me experience it and maybe something that I want to swap to. Obviously, the one car that I do love is the F-Type. And there is a bigger engined, more loud version of the F-Type called the SVR. And I won't lie, it is saved on my Auto Trader, and it does tease and play on my mind whether or not that is something I will do next year. I don't know. Basically what I'm saying is next year I'll be driving some different cars, not just the F-Type, but similar sport-ish cars. I've done a couple of electric cars on this channel, they don't work. I'm not that interested, you're not that interested, we're not going to do electric cars. I'm not really going to do bog standard cars because, yeah, I'm not really there. I might do a couple of hot hatches, but it'll be towards like the RS3s or the top end sort of that side, not necessarily just anything below. But yeah, hopefully more sports-esque cars. The cars I want to film, the cars I want to buy have already been released. I don't think there's really anything coming out this year or next year, for example, hasn't come out in 2024, hasn't come out in 2025, that I'm actually that interested in buying, in all honesty. So, this is my plan. We'll see what happens next year. What I really want to say is, thanks very much for the support this year. I think we're about 850,000 views, over 2,000 subscribers, which was the goal for the end of the year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you have a nice Christmas. I'm not planning to do a video next week, but we shall see what happens. So if I don't speak to you then, have a good new year. It's been a great year. I've done some events. I've been blown away by people, the fact that have come up and said hello and seen the channel. That blows my mind. So if you ever see me in public, do that, because my mind gets blown every time that happens. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you very much for the support this year. I will catch up with you in 2025. Bye!